Chair and Minister MP Attorney Raisa Jajuri, officers and members of the Bangsamoro Parliament, fellow resource persons, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Culture dictates how we think, act, and relate with one another. Cultural norms shape how women and men should comport themselves in society, even in politics. In this aspect, the predominant thinking is that political leadership is the domain of men, and women should stay inside the home and enjoy their role as wives, mothers, sisters, and daughters. But we also know that culture is not cast in stone. It is fluid, dynamic, and changes over time. Muslim scholars have argued that jurisprudence has inbuilt mechanisms commensurate with changes in society, as many historical studies have demonstrated. We submit that the outcomes in the application of Muslim jurisprudence is the centrality of social justice. That is, that every law must deliver social justice. Adl or justice is never an optional outcome. It is the essence of Muslim jurisprudence. The Holy Quran reveals that when Allah created human beings as His Khilafah or vicegerents on earth, as mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 31, who took on the covenant of Amanah or trust in Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayah 72, He was referring to both men and women. These divine commandments, together with al-mas'uliyah or responsibility, are obligatory to every believing men and women. The Quran further elaborated this when it speaks of believing men and women as protectors of one another and enjoying what is good and forbid what is evil in Surah Al-Tawbah, Ayah 71. Believing men and women who perform their duties such as submitting to Allah, who are obedient, truthful, steadfast, and so forth, as mentioned in Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayah 36. Finally, Allah gave full equality on the rights of women on all spheres of life when He says, "Whoso acts righteously, whether male or female, and is a believer, we will surely grant him pure life, and we will surely bestow on such the reward according to the best of their work." Surah Al-Nahl, Ayah 98. The same promise is also mentioned in Surah An-Nisa, Ayah 125, as well as in many other verses in the Quran and Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the early days of Islam, when Muslims were a persecuted minority in Makkah, the women played crucial roles as equal partners of men in ensuring the protection, nurturance, empowerment, development, and eventual victory of the Muslim Ummah as wives, daughters, martyrs, combatants, health workers, businesswomen, teachers, and others. None of us can deny the crucial roles of Khadija radiallahu anha, Ayman, Sumayya, Aisha radiallahu anha, Fatima, and so many others. The Quran also mentions Asiya, wife of Pharaoh, Mary, mother of Jesus alayhi salam, as among the women of paradise due to their exemplary faith and courage. Similar with the persecuted minority of the early Muslims in Makkah, the Bangsamoro needs all the equal positive contributions of its good citizens, men and women, who comprise half of the society, in its process of moving forward from the historical injustices it has experienced in the past towards a more just, prosperous, and peaceful society. Finally, it is also written in our history that before the coming of the colonizers, women were regarded as leaders, as babaylanes, and advisors to sultans and datus. It is within this premise that we share our position on enhancing women's role and participation in the new political entity that will be articulated under the Bangsamoro Electoral Code. As the draft measure claims to allow democratic political participation and reflecting the genuine will of the electorate, Article 1, Section 2, We fail to see the articulation of its commitment to women's political participation as provided for in the annex of on power sharing in the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro. To wit, the Bangsamoro Assembly shall be representative of the Bangsamoro's constituent political units as well as women and other sectors, and that representation in the Assembly shall reflect the diversity of the Bangsamoro. With due respect to the framers of the proposed electoral code, we find that the provisions contained therein fall short of the mandate to the Bangsamoro Transition Authority as contained in the Bangsamoro Organic Law or Republic Act RA 11054, that Parliament shall enact a law that gives recognition to the important role of women in nation building and regional development, ensuring the representation of women in other decision-making and policy-determining bodies of the Bangsamoro government, Article 9, Section 11. Bangsamoro government shall uphold and protect the fundamental rights of women as embodied in the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, Article 9, Section 12. Reserved seats for women in the Bangsamoro Parliament, Article 7, Section 7, Paragraph C. Inclusion of women's agenda in political parties and involvement of women and youth in electoral nominating process, Article 7, Section 9. In this regard, we respectfully propose the following. Article 5, Section 3, Establishment of Political Parties. Political parties to be established by at least 10,000 residents with neither men nor women being less than 40% of the total number. Article 5, Section 4, Requirements of a political party. A political party must have constitution and bylaws, well-defined platforms including women's agenda. Article 5, Section 4, 1E, the party structure, provided that neither men nor women are not less than 40% of the total number. We have reservations on Article 6, Section 17, providing for at least 10% of the nominees in the list shall preferably be qualified party members who are women. We believe that this does not adequately reflect the aspirations of the Bangsamoro women who, along with their male comrades, valiantly lobbied for the passage of the vote. In this regard, we favor the provision in BTA Bill number 19 with the same title, which states that each party shall submit a list of nominees alternating between male and female nominees from which party representatives shall be chosen in case they obtain the required number of votes. In Article 6, Section 20, Reserved Seats and Sectoral Representatives, we assert that representation should not be limited to one woman only. We propose that it should further be provided that there shall be at least 4 women in the reserved seats. There is a need to harmonize the maximum age of qualification for the youth representative, which is 25 years under Article 6, Section 8, and 30 under Section 21 of the same article. Article 6, Section 12 in the BOL states that the maximum age should be 30 years of age. On Article 6, Section 12, manner of selection of sectoral representatives, we assert that sectoral representatives in the reserved seats should be endorsed and vetted by accredited CSOs belonging to the sector he will represent in the bar at the regional, provincial, city, or municipal levels. He should also have a proven track record of 2 to 3 years of working on the ground. We agree that the selection of non-Moro indigenous peoples such as Tiduray, Lambangian, Dulangan, Manobo, Aromanan, Manobo, Blaan, and Higaonon shall adhere to their customary laws and indigenous processes as provided for by Article 6, Section 8 of the BOL, which include the principle of gender equality. We would also like to emphasize that sectoral representatives shall have equal rights, votes, powers as other members of the Parliament. At this point, we are rethinking the appointment of the sectoral representatives by the Chief Minister. This implies that they are disenfranchised in voting for the highest official of the land and vulnerable to being beholden to the appointing power. In this aspect, we hope that this August committee will conduct more consultations to seek the opinion of organized basic sectors to ensure the democratic selection of sectoral representatives. Honorable Madam Chairperson, members of the Parliament, let us be judged by our people by being on the right side of history. Provide equal opportunity to our brilliant Bangsamoro women, especially the youth, to serve our people to the best of their abilities, same as that of our brilliant Bangsamoro men. And most of all, let us be judged by the Almighty Allah on the day of judgment as among those who fulfill their covenant by creating an enabling environment that allowed the believing Bangsamoro men and women to be protectors of each other, who enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.